I'm jealous, but let me explain why I think we shouldn't feel ashamed of jealousy and what it has taught me. Because if you're a creator, an artist, or someone trying to build something online, you've probably felt it too. That quiet sting when someone else seems to be growing way faster than you. Maybe they hit a milestone, got sponsored, or built a community that looks exactly like what you wanted for yourself. And suddenly your brain asks, why not me? Now, I don't think jealousy is evil. In fact, I think jealousy is the first layer of something much deeper. It's not just envy, it's often your emotions trying to tell you what you really care about. When I catch myself feeling jealous, I've learned to see it as a signal, not a shameful reaction. Jealousy doesn't come from nowhere, it comes from comparison. And comparison in small doses isn't bad. It's how we measure, reflect, and learn. But when it comes to tunnel vision, that's when it starts to disorganize our emotions. You look at someone else's life, their numbers, their style, and your brain starts inventing a whole narrative, almost like the grass is greener on the other side. Except we forget that grass grows on completely different types of soil, different circumstances, different experiences, different sacrifices. Allow me to provide a personal example. I've had friends who started streaming after me, and they've hit milestones faster. And it used to bother me, but I wasn't sure why. So I'd just sit in shame. I'd tell myself, you shouldn't be jealous of your friends. But deep down, I still felt that little envy burning in my chest. Then came the guilt because I know better. I know everyone's path is unique, but I couldn't help thinking it just seems so easy for them. That's when I realized that thought, it seems so easy, was my ego trying to protect itself. Because saying it's easy for them diminishes their hard work and doesn't account for the intricacies of how they've succeeded. And that wasn't fair. Not to them, and not to myself. When I really sat with those feelings, I realized something huge. By comparing myself to others, I was minimizing all the work I had already done, all the skills I built, all the effort I put in, all the creative risks I took, just gone in one mental comparison. And personally, I don't think that's a healthy mindset for anyone, especially not myself. So I started working through understanding the conscious, subconscious, and non conscious concepts of jealousy, aiming to figure out what I was actually jealous of. Was it their success? Or was it the illusion of how that success looked from my emotionally induced tunnel vision perspective? Once I started researching and observing how bigger creators operate, I noticed a consistent theme. Whether it's privacy, personal time, or creating content that's more algorithm friendly rather than passion driven, bigger creators are making compromises that I might not be willing to make. And that's when it clicked. If I were to make those same compromises, my content and my audience would change. I'd be building a foundation that didn't actually represent who I am. So instead of chasing someone else's path, I started looking at jealousy as a map pointing to what I value most and away from what I don't. And now when I feel envy, I ask, what part of this is admiration? And what part is insecurity? Because admiration can inspire you. Insecurity can teach you where you still need to grow. But jealousy? It's just the surface tension of both. When you pull it apart gently, when you sit with jealousy, instead of reacting, you start to find clarity instead of competition. Here's the truth I live by now. I'd rather be authentic and right where I am than adored anywhere else for being someone I'm not. The more you chase other people's pace, the more detached you become from your own rhythm. And in the long run, it's your rhythm, your energy, and your unique presence that draws people in. So next time you feel that little kick of jealousy, don't shame yourself. Just pause, breathe, and ask, what is this feeling trying to tell me? Because that's where real growth happens. If this helped you see jealousy in a different light, or if you just love discussing mental health, I'm LittleAshThings, and I'd love for you to join me on this journey by following today. And remember, jealousy isn't your enemy. It's just an invitation to appreciate the path you're carving for yourself while valuing the path others are traveling as well.